Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katy.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by HomeRight Windows and Doors in Waynesboro. The right choice, winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State Awards.
Our next guest today, we have Jami Burkett, who is the coordinator of Shippensburg Community Resource Coalition. If you don't mind moving forward, I'm going to call it the SCRC to shorten it up. If that's
perfectly
okay.
fine.
I was going to say that'll be the last time you hear her say all those words together.
It's even a mouthful for me. I mean, 3 years later. So,
I bet. Tell us about the SCRC and its mission.
Yeah, so we are Center for Excellence under the Shippensburg University, and then we also get our we have our fiscal umbrella under the Shippensburg University Foundation.
Okay.
So we work to partner to bridge the gap between the Shippensburg community and the university. So that means we provide social services and youth programming to the Shippensburg area.
Okay.
So I kind of like to break it up into two. So we have a lot of youth programming, and then we have the social service aspect to what we do. Under the social service aspect, we do a lot of meetings to bring the community together, to troubleshoot issues we see and gaps in the community, like our coalition meetings. That's kind of like where it comes from. We also have the Human Service Council meeting. So that's when we allow other people in the community to come meet as one. What are we seeing in the community? What do we need? Is there any other organization that is in need of help with something, to kind of just bring a sense of community really with all the organizations that Shippensburg has, which is a lot actually. So
Are you referencing a lot of nonprofit organizations?
Yes,
Okay.
a lot of nonprofits.
So do I get the impression that it's kind of like a very, very localized version of the United Way in a way?
Kind of, not really. Like
Okay.
we act like our own nonprofit in a way. We just get that, status of the nonprofit through the foundation, but we like to kind of gather everybody, but we also have our own programming, unlike, I don't know, does the United Way have their own programming as well?
I say about them, they're kind of like the curator of, that they let you know, I have money that I would like to donate to charity, contact the United Way, and they will say, okay,
This
well,
is where it
this
should be allocated
is
depending
where
on.
we would go best.
Yeah, so like that, but with resources.
Okay.
So people can call us and be like, hey, I need help with rent. Okay, call the community care shelter that's in
Sure.
Shippensburg,
Yes.
and that points them in the right direction.
Right.
So
Then that is what,
Yeah.
that's what the United Way would facilitate, some of those things as well. So that,
Right.
I don't mean to go on a United Way tangent, but I was trying to bring it back to what do people know? What can we compare this to?
Yeah.
Because we hear, a lot of the acronyms, the SCRC
Yes.
and all these things, and yes, obviously and then guests we bring in, like if we're talking about radio, sure, we know the terms, but our job is to ask the seemingly easy questions to you or other guests, or even back to us. But we want to make sure that everyone knows, in the real world scenario, how would the SCRC benefit? So you said needs in our community. So
Yes.
you have meetings and you invite, open to anyone to come?
Yes. Yeah, because Shippensburg's split between two counties,
Right.
Cumberland and Franklin. So we like to invite, county services from each county, but also the nonprofits that serve the Shippensburg area, so that we were all on one page.
And if they come to you, just an example, XYZ charity attends the meeting and they say, we're in Shippensburg, we provide things for pets. And then they say, we are looking for some funding, and you would then, what's the process from there?
And troubleshoot, like, what kind of fundraising do you do? Giving them ideas. We personally can't really raise money for them because we're also raising money for ourselves too. So we are all run with grants.
Right.
And fundraising and stuff like that. But connecting them to the right people in the community. So kind of like the middleman.
Yeah.
What you spoke earlier about, talking about maybe some gaps in the community. What are some gaps that are in the community?
Ooh, that's a good question. Where to begin?
We can settle in for that one.
Yeah. We're seeing a lot of there not being enough affordable housing. A lot of people are going hungry. I mean, this isn't anything that you probably haven't heard before. So people are struggling
specific to a certain area.
Right. Yeah. I mean, people are struggling with transportation. We live in a kind of like rural area, so there's not really any transportation to get you from point A to point B that's reliable, on time, stuff like that.
Cost effective.
Yes, yeah. People are struggling to buy groceries. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Alice households. I forget what it stands for, but it's basically they're above the poverty line. They're making above the poverty line, but they're still struggling to afford day-to-day needs. So they're doing all the right things. You know, they're trying to pay their rent, their car. They have a good full-time job, but those other needs are kind of like being lacked in because they can't afford it. So that's kind of like where we come in with some of our youth programming to assist the youth because there are already like county services for the families and the parents. Some of the youth programming that we do to kind of like serve that is our Hound Packs program. Have you ever heard of like a backpack feeding program
yes, of
before?
course.
Yeah.
A lot of school districts have them. So we run the one in the Shippensburg area school district, which serves like 189 kids a week.
And is it, I know I was an educator for a bit, is it a backpack on Friday with food for the weekend
Yes.
that the students get to take home?
Yeah.
Okay.
We did away with the backpacks. We just use plastic bags now. Giant donates them for us. But it provides 6 meals, so 2 dinners, 2 breakfasts, 2 lunches, 2 snacks, and a fruit or vegetable canned. And it's easy stuff for kids to make too over the weekend.
And how would someone apply for that?
We have it on our website. It's open to any family that lives in the Shippensburg area school district.
Okay.
So that means they don't have to attend the district. They can be homeschooled, cyber schooled, stuff like that. As long as you're 3 to 18 years old and live in the Shippensburg area school district, you can apply for the Hound Packs program.
And this is 100% organized and fully funded by the SCRC, is that correct?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That is a great thing.
So a lot of fundraising. We have one grant right now through the Well Spent Summit Endowment Grant that's helping us fund it. A lot of foundation grants that help put money towards it. But it does get pricey with,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
oh my
it's
goodness, of course.
189 students a week.
What are some, is that the big program that you guys really focus on?
It's one of our biggest,
Okay.
yeah.
Is there another one you could tell us about too?
Yeah, the Summer Learning Program. So that's a free 7-week summer camp for youth entering 1st through 12th grade in the school district.
And tell us more about that.
So it's a half a day. It's from like 8:30 to 12. They receive free breakfast and lunch through the district because they have free meals over the summer.
These are held in schools, yes?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. So we host it at like a site, kind of like the Boys and Girls Club.
Yep.
So we are also at another school, different from Boys and Girls Club, and we kind of partner with the district. You know, they provide the meals. We provide activities in between the breakfast and lunch so the kids don't have to go home and then come back, because a lot of parents, that's not an option. So like taking down that barrier of transportation, you know, kind of the parents are able to drop them off breakfast time, pick them up at lunch, and know that they were fed breakfast and lunch for that day.
Wow.
And it also, I'm sure, helps mom, dad, grandma, whoever, to be able to have, you know, because summertime, it does in a lot of ways, hits parents very
does.
hard.
100%.
Yes.
And it helps with
kids
the
too. You know,
yeah.
if they're out of that routine and they're not reading, that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing that I saw as an educator is, you know, that summertime parents are working. They don't have the time to sit at home and read every day with their
Right.
kids and do something outside of watching television or on, you know, whatever devices in front of them.
Yeah.
The question I had for that with the summer program, is that volunteer based?
We hire staff. So I'm the only full-time paid staff in my organization. My director is the center director on the board. But then we have a part-time youth mobilizer who then becomes full-time over the summer to run that camp. And then we usually have 3 or 4 other staff that kind of help her, and then volunteers if we can. We averaged like 35, 40 kids a day. But we served 88 unduplicated youth last summer.
And is this something, the SCRC, is this something that's in a lot of different communities?
Yeah, like I've heard the summer learning program is a pretty, it's a used term. Like I think the library has one too,
Okay.
but I think it's different in the aspect that it's absolutely free. The only requirement is that you live in Shippensburg and that your kid is entering 1st through 12th grade.
Okay.
We asked like some demographic stuff just for grant writing, but that's kind of all we asked for.
I think it's impressive that because like you said, these programs exist, whether they're a cost or not, but that yours runs through 12th grade.
Yes.
I think that's something that we haven't really heard that that these particular specific programs that are primarily about making sure they have food in their bellies and a couple activities to keep them busy. Do you find that when the children are older and perhaps at driving age, that they're more or less in and out, they come in at breakfast and they, just come back at lunch?
It really depends summer to summer. 2 summers ago, we had a lot more older youth come. Last summer, we had a lot more younger ones. But I do see, so within the summer learning program, we like to involve the older kids more. That we give them, it's called Leaders in Training within the summer learning program. We also have a Leaders in Training camp that's a week. That's before the summer learning program starts, just for 6th through 12th grade kids. But that's another program that we do.
Right.
But so within the summer learning program, we give them like a sense of, you're here, try to make a difference if you want.
Leadership,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
Mentor, lead, yes, of course.
So they like to help the kids with activities. They're able to do community service projects with us. We'll go out to a community, another organization, and spend a day with them instead of the older kids being at the camp.
Do you find that as people get into their teenage years that they're more reluctant to do things like this because, they're teenagers?
Yeah.
And do you find that?
I think it just depends on what knowledge they have that's available. Some kids, they might grow up in a house where community service isn't that popular, so they just don't know. But from what we've had, the kids who have participated in our programming, when we take them to community service projects, they love it.
Yeah,
Like they
absolutely.
truly love a sense of community. And that's one of our goals as the SCRC, is trying to create a sense of community and community rewards for youth, and to get them more involved and to create more opportunities for them to do healthy, safe activities.
I love any type of leadership programs that, and as we've been doing the show, we've been hearing more of these kinds of opportunities. I think it's so important that older teenagers have that leadership, like they have that experience with it as they get into the workforce.
Yes.
And I think the kids love it too.
They
The
do.
kids love
Kids
working
love to
with
help.
the older.
They do.
Yeah, it's
that's
great.
I have a 4-year-old daughter, and the one thing I said is she just loves to know that she's helping.
Yes.
Yes.
I can't get into a project at the house where she's not right behind me trying to do something, and that, Katy, I'm sure saw that. It's such a rewarding thing for young kids to feel that they have helped an adult or in their
Yes.
community, as you said. So when they see that coming to fruition and doing these projects that are worthy projects,
Yes.
not just doing, it's not busy work. That is a benefit to everybody, especially the youth. They learn, as Katy said, that leadership, that problem solving, those communication
There's
skills
great
in a lot
skills
of ways.
to have instilled as you
Following
go into
directions,
the workforce.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, being on
absolutely.
time, taking pride in your work, all
Yep.
those things.
And then being able to see the outcomes after it,
Absolutely.
You know that you did this thing, you're passing by the garden every day, you know that you had a hand in helping that garden grow.
And don't worry, they'll tell you too.
Yes,
Yeah.
they will.
Every time you go by, you'll get that
Yes.
story.
And,
Yeah.
and it connects you to
Yep.
the community more too.
Yeah.
When are your meetings?
So our coalition meetings, we meet once a month on the second Thursday of the month from 1 p.m. to 2:15ish over Zoom right now.
Okay.
But so in those meetings, we really focus on 3 different areas that we just now started. So we have 3 different committees that focus on parental attitudes towards youth behaviors. So like, what education do they have? Do they know that, the effects of if their youth has poor mental health, or if they're using substances, drinking alcohol?
Right.
Community rewards, that's kind of what we've been talking about. We want to get youth involved in the community and to have a sense of like, okay, like this, I'm making a difference. This is great. I want to keep doing this. And then the third one is youth mental health. So we want to focus on that, especially in the school district.
Absolutely.
And just creating more education around it with the youth, with the parents, the school. And we have grant money that is going to go towards 3 different mental health events.
Can you tell us about those events?
No.
No.
We haven't started planning
Okay,
them yet. We
okay.
just got the grant for it.
Okay.
We are quickly approaching the holiday season. Is there anything that the SCRC is involved with heavily during the holidays that might be of interest to our listeners and viewers or that they could potentially help with?
Yeah, so we have a holiday fundraiser every year. So we sell wreaths, garlands, and redemption barbecue tickets. They're really good. And that will benefit our Hound Packs program. So there's that. I think the orders are due November 7th, and then you'll get them the Monday before Thanksgiving.
Okay. Tell us more about this barbecue.
That was my question I was going to ask right now, as I've never heard this.
Yeah,
Yes.
Redemption Barbecue. It's a barbecue spot in Shippensburg.
Okay.
It's across from the old Select Diner. It's not called Select anymore, but
Right.
it's like the diner right downtown Shippensburg, and it's kind
Is
of
it
like
on
catty
King?
corner.
Is it on King Street?
You're going. It's on the right, and then they have really good like pulled pork, pulled chicken sandwiches, but they donate to us almost every year. So they do fundraisers all the time. They sell these barbecue tickets, but usually they end up just letting us keep all of the profit.
Oh, wow,
so I don't want to,
that's great.
Don't want to assume
knock
that,
on
but
any
yeah,
wood,
sure.
but
Right.
we're really appreciative for their.
Well, Jamie, next time you come in, maybe you bring us a sample. I mean,
Right?
How can we best describe the validity and then the worthiness of this project if we don't know the product?
Exactly.
Because right now it's just I don't know that we can take your word for it.
Okay.
I really don't. It's not that we don't trust you, but we have to vet this.
Now,
We could be the United Way of
can you
of the
stop with the
barbecue.
barbecue? Because he's not going to stop. Because we have a couple minutes left. And now you said you've been with the SCRC for 3 years now.
Yeah.
In your 3 years, is there something that stands out as really significant or that you're really proud of, or a moment where you thought, wow, that was pretty cool?
I think it's just we're small, but like we're mighty. So I've been in SCRC for 3 years, been in my position for now, 3-ish years, for now, like a year and a half. So I started at SCRC as an intern. So along with having that university partnership, we are able to have like 3 or 4 interns every year. And they are truly, I want to give them a shout out because they do a lot of the work. And I just kind of oversee them. I supervise them. We make sure they're having like a good time, basically. So I was one of those interns. And then my supervisor, who was in my position, passed away. And I stepped into that role May of 2023. So I've been there ever since.
And are you from Shippensburg?
No, I am a Shippensburg University alumni, though.
Okay.
I live in Chambersburg.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
Wow. And now I know you touched upon this before, but I just want to make sure that we say this again. The SCRC is open to any resident as long as they live in
The Shippensburg area
The
school
Shippensburg
district.
school district. Okay.
Mhm, yes. So even if their kids don't attend the district, they just have to like live in that geographical area.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what county you're in.
Well, Jamie, thank you so much for sharing all this. I know that this was something that Tiny and I both didn't have a lot of knowledge about, and I feel like you did a really wonderful job educating us.
This has
Yeah.
been the beauty of, because you asked us right before we went live, you said, how long has Let's Talk Tri-State been going on? And this is week 3. But this is my favorite part of the program, is getting to know these organizations, very worthy organizations, every single day. There's at least one person who comes in here that, and both Katy and I love learning. And they say if you can learn one thing every day, you're good to go. Well, my goodness, we're
Right,
we're soaring
sure.
past
Killing it
that.
right now.
But with the last couple minutes that we have with you, Jamie, if you would, how can people donate? Obviously, you need funds, right? So how do they get in touch with you? Give us all. You can't give us too much information of how we can reach you and your organization.
Yeah. So multiple ways of donating your time, volunteering, helping us with the Helm Packs program especially. That's like multiple nights a week, so you can just email me. Our website, there's also a donation button, so it'll take you to the University Foundation's website. So within that, you put how much you want to donate, but in the memo, wherever you can type, you do have to put SCRC.
Gotcha. Okay.
You can put SCRC / whatever program you want to donate to. But participating in any fundraisers that we have is really awesome. We participate in Match Madness every year, which is the Partnership for Better Health. They kind of have this big fundraiser where people can benefit from it, and that's where we get a lot of our donations
With
from.
your Helm Packs that you have, you said there's food items in there.
Yes.
If there's a grocery store chain or a business that believes perhaps we could provide something for those packs, would they also be able to reach out to you and say, hey, we think we might be able to give in this way?
Yes, yeah, food donations is another option as well. So we are able to put single serving items in the bag. So we can't get a big box of cereal and put it in a bag for one student. That's too big for the bag, and it's just, so like the little cups of like cereal, oatmeal, soup, we give out a bunch of soup, and yeah, those little what are they called, dole
like
or
containers
something?
of like the
Peaches and yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The lunch packs essentially
yes.
is what. Yeah.
Mac and cheese. You know,
Okay.
we really those are items that we use quite often.
great.
Very good.
Jamie, thank you so much for spending time
Yeah,
with us today on
great.
Let's Talk Tri-State. That was
Yeah.
that was really interesting to learn about.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Of course. Coming up, we're going to take a look at news and sports, all powered by Veritas Men's Health in Hagerstown. They do have telehealth available, and you can find them online at veritasmenshealth.com.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.